Let's see the dynamic pile formula now, which can also be used to find out the ultimate pile load capacity. So in this case, we apply impact kind of loading. So a hammer will be dropped on the pile, and that way we will find the ultimate pile load capacity. So these formulae are based upon the impact of two free elastic bodies. So that is kind of limitation also, because in reality this pile is not a free elastic body because it is surrounded by the soil, so it cannot move freely. There will be the resistance between the soil and the pile. So that is one of the limitation, and apart from that, our pile in real condition, in real field condition, some static loading will be applied. So the actual loading is not the impact loading, or we can say it is not the dynamic kind of loading, it is the static loading which is going to be there on this. So these are the limitations of this formula. So how do we derive this formula? To derive the formula, the impact energy of hammer is equated with the work done by pile. So when we drop the hammer on this pile, because of that it will have some impact energy. Let's say this W is the weight of the hammer and H is the height of fall, then WH is the impact energy, and work done by pile, let's say QU load is being applied on this pile, and because of that there is a settlement of S dash. So that is the work done of the pile, and from here we can find out our ultimate resistance or ultimate pile load capacity as WH upon S dash. So using this basic equation, different people gave different formula. So first let's see the engineering news formula. According to this formula, QU is equal to WH upon F times S plus C. Now here this S dash is equal to S plus C, where S dash is the theoretical set per blow. So if we drop the hammer once, what is going to be the theoretical settlement? That is S dash, where S is the actual set per blow, and C accounts for the various elastic settlement or the energy losses. So if it drops, so there will be elastic settlement of the soil of the pile. So those kind of losses are accounted in this term C. And so what are the units of these various different things? So W is taken in kg, that is the weight of hammer. H is taken in centimeter, that is the height of fall. F is the factor of safety, and S is real set per blow, as I said, real set, and it is taken as average value of for last 5 drops, or last 5 time if we drop the hammer. So what is the value for those average? The average of those 5 values is the S, and that is case for drop hammer. If we are using a steam hammer, so that is taken as average of last 20 drop of hammer for steam hammer. So that is about the S, and the value of C, it is taken as 2.5 for drop hammer, and it is equal to 0.25 for single acting steam hammer. Single acting steam hammer. And that is this formula. After that, one more formula is there, that is modified Hailes formula. According to this, the pile load capacity R, or the pile load resistance, is given as WH eta divided by S plus C by 2. Now W, that is the height, that is the weight of hammer, it is in tons here. H is again height of fall in centimeter. Eta is the energy loss, you can say, and or we can say it as the efficiency, and S is the real set per blow, that is in centimeter per blow, and it is taken as similarly last five average of last five values for drop hammer. And the value of C here account for three things, that is the elastic settlement of dolly, which is the part of the hammer arrangement, plus elastic settlement of pile, plus elastic settlement of soil. That this is these three things are accounted in C. So that way we can find out the pile load capacity of the pile using these formula. And these formula are more relevant in sand or the cohesion less soil, and less relevant in clay because of the poor water pressure that develops, because this settlement is not the realistic settlement in case of clay, because the settlement is the time taking settlement if we talk about the clay. So apart from this, one more kind of test was remaining, that is correlation with SPT data, that is standard penetration test data. So for this test also, the values are given for different kind of condition, that is driven pile, or the pile in driven pile in sand, or the cast in situ pile. So I'm just telling for the driven condition. Apart from that, it is not so important, and it is very difficult to remember everything also, so just you can remember this part. So according to this, the ultimate pile load stress, we can say, or the point, this is the point resistance, that is the only this base part we are calculating from here, and it will be calculated in kilonewton per meter square. That is, the equation is 40 N L by D. So the unit here will be kilonewton per meter square, and multiplied by the area of the base, then we'll get the QPU, that will be your ultimate end bearing resistance. So the value of QPU here is limited to 400 N kilonewton per meter square. If it is coming out to be more than this, then we will ignore that. We will take 400 N as a value. And N here is the standard penetration resistance. Standard penetration resistance without overburden pressure correction. And apart from that, this is for the end bearing resistance, and for the skin friction resistance, this relation is given as Fs is equal to 2 times N average. So the value of N is, the average value of N is taken in this case, and the twice of that value is our skin friction resistance, and this value should not be greater than 100 kilonewton per meter square. So these are the formulae using which we can relate static the standard penetration test data with our the skin friction and end bearing resistance.